Thank you very much. So I'm not sure how familiar people are with National Geographic. I get told a lot of different things. We're a print magazine, we're a television channel, we're a social media player, we're a non-for-profit. So I'm going to start by playing a little video which hopefully will give everyone a little bit of an insight as to who we truly are.
We are explorers. We find things. Great stories. Moments that matter.
Oh my God!
At National Geographic, it's part of who we are. And it always has been. But now, it's time for brave new stories.
It's like an eye-opener.
Told in brand new ways.
Come and take me away.
With big names.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
And bigger talents.
You are the most brilliant man I've ever met.
Empowering a new generation.
You just keep going unless someone stops you.
To be inspired by the world. This is our moment to greet the impossible.
As a UN messenger of peace, I've seen reason for stopping this devastation.
I wanna run away.
And dive into adventure. We are explorers, ready for the next chapter.
We can change the world. It's the most exciting time ever. You're going to do great things.
Because this one will take us further.
So, as I said, my name's Annabelle and I look after travel partnerships in National Geographic. I'm thrilled to be here talking to you today and talking about how we have built the #1 social brand. National Geographic is a non-for-profit organization and a global media powerhouse. Purpose is at the heart of our brand and it drives our storytelling. Through our fact-based journalism, we are leading global conversations about things that really matter. We fund real science, exploration, education, and conservation efforts at a time when they are arguably more important than ever. And sharing this fact-based, science-driven news is the guiding principle behind our social media, and it's central to our success. The last 6 months have seen us cover critical issues such as climate change and gender. And we've explored new frontiers such as Mars. And we've inspired the next generation of scientists and innovators through our socially driven crowdsource Chasing Genius platform. I'm not sure how many of you know, but National Geographic sits at the intersection of business and purpose, with 27% of the profits going back into the society to fund science, research, education, and conservation. And by giving back, this drives deeper connections with our communities. And this is one of the primary reasons we are seeing such success in social media. Because purpose is infused into our storytelling. It has a wonderful ripple effect, making us more human and strengthening the bonds with our communities. And we believe it is one of the keys to our position leading the social conversation today. And the success is demonstrated by the huge reach we have achieved. The numbers are really staggering and worth thinking about for a moment. We are conscious of the responsibility of this level of social reach, and it's important to note that we do not take this position for granted, not for 1 second of the day. It's equally interesting to put the numbers in context. And we look at our company, it does give us hope in a world dominated by celebrity. So how does National Geographic continue to resonate with the global community and consistently hold that #1 brand position on social? I'm here to tell you how. Susan Goldberg, editor-in-chief of National Geographic, defined social as a platform to break the visuals. National Geographic uses social to add layers of information and to immediately tell one kind of story. The landscape is in constant motion and always shifting. But there are a few big questions that we focus on at National Geographic. How do you get people to stop scrolling and engage with your content? How do you create content that meets people where they are? And how do you build a community that's bigger than your brand and ultimately works to drive it forward for you? So, how do we get people to stop scrolling and engage with your content? We're inundated with so much content on a minute-by-minute basis that it's harder than ever to break through the clutter and grab people's attention. As the #1 brand in social media, not just for reach, but also for engagement, we've found success through 4 core guiding principles. Firstly, staying true to your brand. Secondly, being immediate. 3, the power of wow. And lastly, embracing new technology. So let's look a little bit more closely at these. Staying true to your brand and tailoring your messaging around content so it's authentic to your voice is what people both expect and respect. Being timely and relatable for your audience is equally important. And we are harnessing the power of social to make sure we are always immediate and relevant. Both of these core principles were evident in this example here of the people versus climate change. At the time of the inauguration of Donald Trump, National Geographic decided to leverage consumer sentiment and launched a social campaign and contest asking our communities around the world to contribute ideas to combat climate change. Together, we will find the solutions. The third principle is the power of wow, or wonder. This cannot be underestimated. This is one of our best videos, reaching 98 million, and who better than National Geographic to help you experience a shark attack? Let's take a look. Well, being true to your brand, timely and relatable, and having the wow factor establishes a good foundation. We all know how critical it is to embrace new technologies and new platforms. At National Geographic, we produce over 70 live stories on Facebook every single month, ranging from live events to regular live series. And we regularly reach around 1 million viewers through our live broadcasts. We were also the first brand to create a 360 Live. We did this in conjunction with our global television event series, Mars, reaching over 18 million consumers. But live gets really exciting when we can bring our community on expedition with us. This next video was live late last year and touches on those points of authenticity. Who better than National Geographic to bring you 2 amazing photographers just hours after they'd summited Mount Everest?
That's what
we did.
That's the big thing right now.
Summiting Mount Everest yesterday. Cruiser.
Without O's, no big deal. Going live from 21,000 feet, that's an accomplishment. I'm Corey Richards.
I'm Adrian Ballinger. We're at Everest No Filter, and
we're at base camp. Well, ABC right now at 21,000 feet.
We have the best tech possible on the planet, thanks to our sponsors, to do this. And man,
It still doesn't work sometimes.
But we're here now.
We're here now, and we're here to take your questions. So by all means, ask away. We're recovering at this point. Adrian had well, I was up for about 43 hours, and Adrian was up for same.
I guess longer, the same as that. I got back about 6 hours after Corey to Advanced Space Camp. But man, am I happy to be here. I'm just going to play on the screen for a minute, see if I can get your comments up.
That's what
we did.
And while we're staying true to the brand and leaning into innovative social storytelling solutions, we also want to continuously grow our engagement. And in our case, that means how do you get 94 million social impressions in just one day? One way that we have found especially effective is to bring all of our social media assets to bear on a single subject for a short time that delivers exceptional focus. Last year, we launched The Moment, a full-on social takeover that spans all of our multiple accounts across Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, to focus on one moment in time that matters to us, to our audience, and to the world at large. These are massive, cause-based social takeovers that harness our world-class photography and storytelling to rally our followers around topics that matter. World Water Day, World Ocean Day, International Women's Day, World Food Day, and the like. Like-minded partners will get in on the action. I want to share an example of the work we did with Microsoft around International Women's Day. It started with a focus on empowering girls and women to pursue STEM subjects and careers. We curated photographers, scientists, and explorers live in store, as well as live across social media. We told stories that were shared across Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. The result was 94 million impressions. Let's take a look.
I want to make sure that girls, in particular, young women, know that STEM, science, and engineering, all of these things are for them.
I'm here today because I've got two really creative little engineer girls at home, and I know that they're always running into challenges about pursuing what they want to pursue.
That there was a career that you could study space.
Who wants to be a scientist? That's great.
Just imagine, I built some part of that, and you're seeing it up against the sun.
So this is me in my office now. This is where I get to go to work. So my job is to go places where nobody else is going and to bring those visuals back to the scientists and back to the world.
STEM gives you the permission to ask questions about the world and to change the way it works, to do something better or different or new.
Hi, my name is Jenny Adler, and I'm a conservation photographer, and I'm out here today at the Ichetucknee River in Ichetucknee Springs State Park.
Does anybody have a question? Yes, you all have questions because y'all are so cool and smart.
I love the energy, and I love the excitement, and the curiosity, and all of the fun.
And what are we talking about? Science. It's fabulous.
I feel like we have to allow girls to imagine themselves in these roles. They can make a difference. They can change the world.
Thank you. Yeah, high five.
A few months ago, we hosted a moment focused on National Get Outdoors Day. And this reset the bar with 98 million impressions in one day. Phenomenal. And this goes to show the enormous power of focusing all of your social media assets to reach more people in more ways on subjects that matter. Social is always on, and we have to be too. in terms of constantly creating what's next and what's new. We're launching more regular social shows, such as Globetrotter and The Edge of Impossible, launched off the back of the huge success with our first ever digital series, Wildlife with Bertie Gregory. Let's take a look.
The first time I went to Vancouver Island, I was really overwhelmed. You've got this unbelievably beautiful ecosystem, and if that wasn't enough by itself, I then discovered that it was just ram-packed full of big, sexy, charismatic animals. Yes, it is a very wild place, but it's actually quite straightforward to get there. I landed in Vancouver, the city, take about an hour's drive to the coast, take a ferry across the channel. The drive across Vancouver Island's pretty spectacular, and the trees are some of the biggest trees I've seen anywhere in the world. And then it's up over a mountain pass and down to the west coast. You can wake up in one of the biggest cities in North America, and then by lunchtime be on this crazy wild coast. It's a pretty special place.
The sun is just starting to come up. We've got a couple of time lapses set up. Let's check out this view.
I think Bertie has the best job in the world, and he's only 22. And while this is conceived and developed as a digital-first series, these stories are told in 4 to 10-minute segments. The content is curated with the consumer in mind. And while this series runs across our owned and operated channels, such as YouTube and Hulu, there are specifically designed weekly segments for Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook. Our goal is to ensure an engaged following for this series. But to do this, we need to meet the consumer where they are. And it's working. A video from this series is currently our top-ranked video on Instagram, and the series has delivered over 8 million views across all of our platforms. So a huge success.
My name's Bertie Gregory, and I'm a 22-year-old wildlife cameraman. Hey there. And I've traveled to the west coast of Vancouver Island. For the next 3 months, I'm going to be tracking down some of the biggest, sexiest...
So you see the different formats. So, as well as engaging people, as you know, you have to meet people where they are. How do you do this when the social landscape is changing as fast as the interests of consumers? At National Geographic, we travel our content across many different accounts, tailoring the tone and style to the medium and its natural audience. Across Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Google, and across our key areas of travel, innovation, adventure, exploration, and science. We coordinate our content through experts in both the subject as well as the platform. We have had to embrace new technologies and platforms to ensure you are where the community is and you're storytelling in a format that they expect. We partnered with Nike to tell the story of the attempt to do the sub-2-hour marathon. We took one story and we told it across Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We had a photographer on site at the event and our platform experts packaged for the audience, all delivering huge results. Let's take a look.
When you look across sport, the one obvious barrier is the 2-hour marathon.
It's not the absolute numbers that matter. It's picking the goal that you think is impossible. It's this journey of taking 3 guys, all of whom are really talented, and telling them to do something that's impossible. We're taking the latest advances in training, latest advances in technology and algorithms and mathematics, and we're going to tell these guys, you're going to go for it from the gun. And that is a recipe for greatness.
It's about human endeavour. Why would you try to climb Everest? Why would you try to go to the moon? It's about learning what our capabilities are.
So we've looked at how we engage with people and how we meet people where they are. Now I want to talk a little bit about how we're turning all of these engaged followers into an active community, and how we are encouraging our audiences to actually become part of our brand. We believe this is rooted in collaboration. At National Geographic, we invest in the power of the world's best storytellers to ensure our stories go further, and the door is open for our consumers to join along. And we are proving that by working together, magic happens. We launched Chasing Genius, a new digital community based on the premise that transformational ideas can come from anywhere and anyone. Let's take a look.
What if I told you you were a genius? That you have the power to solve the world's problems?
We didn't intend to have a big idea, it just happened.
10,000 people die in Uganda every year drinking dirty water. And it seems stupid to not have a solution for it.
And it's your invention that will save lives.
Those roads are just really difficult to pass, but you can do it with a simple drone.
And your ideas that will change everything.
When I was a kid, one of my favorite toys was a slot car track, which is electric vehicles on an electric road. Why don't we make real roads like that?
National Geographic's Chasing Genius. One idea can change the world. Let it be yours.
Whoa, this is actually happening, and it's actually working.
Learn more at natgeochasinggenius.com. What if I told...
So key to the success of Chasing Genius is the use of storytelling from National Geographic, our partners, and the community. Together, this creates a virtual cycle of empowering inspiration. On the 1st of June last year, we announced our first round of challenges, crowdsourced from our social communities. 4 winners will receive $25,000 to further their ideas. Chasing Genius is a great example of how the community becomes the driver of the brand. But probably the most successful social product National Geographic has created to date is Your Shot. This unites amateur photographers across the world by asking its members to go on assignment for National Geographic on specific themes announced by our photo editors. The results are absolutely stunning, and it's arguably our most engaged and vocal social platform. We have 800,000 members across 195 countries, and they've submitted over 8 million photographs to date. They are a truly passionate community who are shaping how we articulate our brand in a very powerful and creative way. And here are some of the images. It's the perfect example of collaboration. Perhaps unique to National Geographic, all of our photographers are empowered to upload photos directly to social media on our behalf, unedited and unrestricted. The Instagram account is run by 100 trusted photographers. These are not images and voices of an editor. No, these are photographers on the scene, posting from the field, who tell people what it looked like, what it felt like, and what it smelled like in real time. This is the true power of social. Thank you very much.